Hey guys, welcome to SABRPRINTS 2A show. Today we got late nights with Sabr. Today we actually have Philip, and he is part of Vyper Kydex. So hopefully you guys are excited to see him. Let me let's see if we get a little bit people in here, and then I'll bring them in real quick. Let me post real quick. All right. So I'm gonna bring in Philip. That way, if you guys have a question, hey guys, right now we're live. Go check out YouTube. I got Philip from Vyper Kydex. If you guys want to hear what he's about, if you guys got any questions, let him know. Tune in, check out the show. We are live at Sabar Prince 2A. Check it out, guys. What's up, Philip? How you doing, man?
Good, brother. Glad to be here, man.
Nice having you, man. Thank you for coming and thank you for being part of the show.
Yeah, man,
So
I'm stoked about it.
let the people know what is it that you do, man. Explain to them like how you started it doing the kydex and what were you doing before the kydex.
Okay, yeah. Well, like Sabr said, man, my name's Philip. I run Vyper Kydex. I'm out of South Carolina. um, Kydex is kind of an interesting adventure for me. We ended up probably around 2011. I needed a holster. That holster did not exist out there in the real world that I could go and purchase.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I've always made things with my hands. I've always done things for me on my own. And I said, there's got to be a way I can do something here. And
Correct.
so I ended up starting to kind of mess with some kydex and kind of, man, it ended up just kind of rolling into this weird thing where I was doing it more and more. And then around 2016, I started selling holsters to my friends. And next thing you know, it became a business. And this year, just a couple weeks ago, I went full time.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, man. I seen when I started talking to you probably like maybe 2 weeks before you went full time, right? Something like that.
Yeah, not yeah, around that time frame.
Yeah, yeah. I think I reached out to you and I asked you. I think because we were gonna start. I was gonna start new shows, and I was looking for a sponsor. And I reached out to you and I asked you, and then you were like, "Yeah, man, let me check out your stuff." I sent you some stuff. You checked it out, and then you're like, "Hey, man, um, I'm gonna make this full time. We'll talk to you like in a week or two." I think you said, and we left it like that, man. Then I follow you on Instagram, and then I see that you were an ex-cop, bro. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, man. 15 years on the force and I hung it up.
No, man, thank you. We appreciate your service, man. I don't
Thank
have
you.
anything about anybody, you know. Everybody has to work a job. Everybody has to survive and feed their family. So my hat goes off to you, man. Um, I remember when we were talking, you were asking me that you were interested actually like in the 3D community because well, let the people know like where you from. Like if you want to let them know where you're from.
Location wise,
Yeah, yeah. If you
yeah,
want to,
it's
it's
South
up to
yeah,
you.
South Carolina, man. Yep, been in South Carolina here my whole life, born and raised.
So you're from South Carolina, and then you told me you told me you were a redneck, bro, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm just a dumb redneck, bro.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate that. It's honest. You know what? A lot of people don't realize that a lot of us don't got a good education. Like I don't have a high education. Like I think
No,
like
man. I don't have a college degree, bro. I'm a
yeah,
high school graduate. I have some college, and I quit because I was too busy playing in rock bands.
for real, man.
And yeah, bro. So before I was a cop, I was a musician.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
You
I didn't get into policing until I was 27 years old.
Damn, bro, you're one of the good ones, bro.
So
Yo,
yeah, I still play, man. I still play. I'm not playing in any bands at the moment, but yeah, I've led a little bit of an interesting life from time to time.
oh man, that's dope. I'm from the grave. I think he follows you too. He said, "Sup, y'all."
Yeah, Guns from the Grave. He followed me on Instagram. I followed him back, man.
Yeah, man.
He's mentioned me and you in his story a couple times to kind of help promote us, man. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's real cool of him.
He's real cool. I really like him a lot. So yeah, guys, if you guys want to see the stuff, go check it out. It's on SABRPRINTS 2A YouTube. Also, you could just hit the link on my bio, and it's gonna take you straight to it. Philip is a cool guy. Like he said, he was ex law enforcement. Now he stopped. He's doing Kydex full time, and he kind of wants to know a little bit of the 3D community, but also he wants to tell his story. So I mean, if you could kind of elaborate, how did you get into Kydex? Like, did you said it was because you wanted to make that holster, right?
Yeah.
And then you
All
just
right.
yeah, go for it, man.
You want the juicy details,
Yeah, I
huh?
want to know, bro.
um. So, man, uh, my entire life has been spent. I've had, and we'll kind of do the roundabout way to get some people some detail. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
I've probably had four great passions in my life: um, baseball, martial arts, music, and firearms.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the firearms, that I was shooting by the time I was 6 years old, um, and my dad and I have bird hunted a long time. We like to hunt dove, duck, and we also turkey hunt and deer hunt. And it's just, man, it's just, I grew up outdoors fishing, hunting, and shooting for fun, for
Yeah,
sport. And so, um, with the firearms thing, I've always enjoyed shooting as a practical matter for hunting, for fun, and also for defensive purposes.
right.
Um, there's never been a time I've not been around a gun in my life, and so in my 20s, I started buying a couple guns as I got old enough to do so, because I'd always had my dad's guns to shoot, but started buying guns for myself, and I had a gun that had an aftermarket rail attached to it,
Correct.
and nobody made a holster for it. Not even Safariland, not even the big companies, but I needed it was a holster for an aftermarket rail and a light, and nobody made it. So I had to find a way to make a holster, but I didn't want leather.
Yeah,
Okay. And it's not that I don't like leather. I'm friends with three or four really awesome leather workers. And man, some of that stuff is just beautiful and amazing, but it's limited in its applications.
like in a shape. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just in its shape, but this was this is a full size 1911 with an aftermarket rail on it.
Damn.
So tactical, you know, tactical gun.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, so I wanted something that would be faster than leather in a sense of um,
I got you.
availability to me because I was carrying this gun at the
Yeah,
time. Okay.
yeah.
So I was carrying a full size 1911 in summer in South Carolina.
Oh hell no! If it would have been leather, you would have been sweating, man.
Yeah, so this is before the advent of the micro compacts like the Glock 43 or the Smith and Wesson Shield, right? So
Oh,
this is early 2000s. I don't know if you know how old I am. So,
bro, look, I'm gonna say something. I don't mean no disrespect, but man, when I started talking to you, I thought you were probably gonna be like mid 40s, bro. To be
yeah,
honest,
well, I'm 42.
yeah, you're young.
Yeah, well, yeah, and certainly I'm not saying I'm old. I feel great, but
Yeah, man.
but but that kind of gives people a time frame because this is
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
sometime around. This is in the mid 2000s, right? So
Uh,
I needed a holster, and I decided that because I've always been pretty crafty. My dad taught me to use tools when I was a kid, and I said, you know what, hell with it, let's make a holster.
yeah,
And dude, everything is on YouTube these days. If you can't figure out how to do something now, I can't help you because YouTube has created this wealth of knowledge.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. YouTube
And
University, man.
yeah. And so I said, okay, let's make a holster. And so I started buying some materials and figuring this stuff out. And of course, like everything you do, your first few attempts are not great, but eventually I had a couple that were working real good, and I carried in them for years, man.
Oh, what? You carried your own stuff for years, man?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Damn, that's dope.
Probably my first holster that really worked was probably the second or third one that I made, and I think I carried that until, geez, I mean, I was almost a cop. I started policing in 2007, so I carried it for 3-4 years, maybe. You
Wow,
know,
damn. All right, so then, after you got into the Kydex thing, was it just like, were you making stuff for you and your friends, or how did that evolve, like, into the business?
yeah. I started making holsters. I'd acquired several more pistols at that time, and I was carrying a couple different pistols depending on the day and the time of year. I don't know if you do or not, but for me during the winter, a lot of times I will try to carry a little bit more gun because I've got some more.
Yeah,
I've got a jacket or something. You know what I'm saying?
I think we all
So
do, yeah.
yeah, so I may go from a shield or a Glock 43 to to at least a 19 size gun, right? So I kind of started making a few different holsters, and my buddies were like, "Man, I carry a Glock 19 too. Can you make me a holster for that? Because it's pretty
Yeah,
cool." And so naturally, I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I'll make you a holster." And one thing leads to another. I start getting some phone calls from my other buddies. I need you to make me a holster. I need you to make. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And
That's
so
the
it evolved. It evolved that way.
that's the best, type of promotion, word of mouth. Like, word of mouth, helps a lot, man.
That's right.
So, okay, so then, it went from just you, then a couple buddies, then it got when did you know, like, "Hey, man, like, the ball is rolling and it's not gonna stop," type of thing?
Um, Around 2016, man. So 2016, I actually acquired a local business license because I was selling in the city that I live in,
Mhm.
and I was selling enough where I felt like I needed to make it a little bit more official.
Paying them
Um,
taxes.
yeah, well, yeah, and because you don't want to get caught not doing that. So,
Yeah.
um, I started kind of doing that, and I was still, to me, it was still kind of a part time gig.
For
Um,
sure.
but in 2017, I doubled the amount of holsters I sold in 2016. In 2018,
Yeah.
I had doubled the amount of holsters I sold in 2017 again. So I started like, man, this is,
You start thinking about it, huh?
yeah. Well, because I've always wanted to own my own business since I was in my early 20s. I've always thought
That
that
was
if
a
I could maintain control of my time
Yeah.
and build something around my standards, that I would be happier. But and I'll tell you a funny story about that sometime too. But I didn't have the resources, man. When you're single in your 20s and you're not making a lot of money, trying to make that kind of investment or getting a business loan, and it can be really, really hard.
Yeah, or not even just that, man. Even just having people believe in you, like
Yes,
you'll get a bunch of naysayers, or you'll get people telling you like, "Man, don't do this, don't do that." But I mean, I think that's what it is. That a lot of us that are starting something, we're the only ones at that moment that see the vision.
that's
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah,
And and it's gonna take time, but the others will see it, and then that's. But yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry about that.
that's no, it's okay. That's totally cool, dude. Because you're right, and for a very long time you have to bet on yourself. And
Yeah.
so I started pressing this more and more and more as time went on, and I started buying better tools and new molds. I got into vacuum forming rather than foam pressing, which are two different processes, and kind of started, I really started focusing on not only the quality of my holsters, but the number and types that I kind of offer. And I kept getting more and more and more people asking me. And eventually I started social media accounts for the business. Next thing you know, I got guys contacting me on Instagram. Hey, bro, your stuff looks really good. Can I buy a holster from you? And dude, this is stuff that now I look back on it and I'm like, man, why would that guy want to buy that holster from me then? Like, look at what I'm making now versus, sometimes, and I'm like, dude, I don't know if this dude was in his right mind, but whatever. So,
Yeah.
so it just kind of snowballed. And then sometime in really around, 2021, I was doing even more business. And
So wait. Let me get this right. During the pandemic, you were making
yes,
money, bro.
yes.
Damn. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and there's a couple of reasons for that, because a lot of people were staying at home, but they also started realizing like how dangerous things in this world have gotten. And we had more new gun owners in 2020, I think, than any preceding year before that.
Okay. Damn. Yeah.
Right? Like gun sales went, you couldn't get guns
Yeah. I
in
remember
2020.
you couldn't even get ammo. Like you had to make a line. Like all the gun places that did have ammo had a
Yeah.
line. I remember.
Because people started realizing they were at home and they started seeing things they had never seen and understanding things that had not been brought to their attention before. And they were
Correct.
like, man, I'm here by myself all the time, especially, the housewives and young mothers of the world started realizing like, man, I'm here by myself all the time. I ain't got nobody else around me to help me, and
Yes,
so
sir.
gun sales exploded. So 2020 was like, people don't believe it, man. But I'm telling you, 2020 for Vyper Kydex was just an immense year. And we didn't even have our website up then.
Damn. So you were
Oh,
doing everything through what, like Instagram?
yeah.
Were you doing
Instagram
Etsy?
and Instagram and Facebook, bro.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you weren't doing no gun show. Oh, well, you couldn't do gun shows because everything was closed, huh?
No, but I also have a lot of local business. Like a lot of my customers are through the law enforcement and public safety community.
Oh, okay. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. And so then in 2021, I kind of realized that, for me, being in business for myself was what I needed to do. And, you can love being a cop all you want, but sometimes you got to take a chance on yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's just the deal.
For reals, you do. Sometimes you just gotta, uh, you gotta get. How do they say it? Like, the guy that's playing poker and he don't have, how to. You just gotta bluff
Yeah.
and learn how to play those cards right and have a mean poker face because
Yep.
you might have crap in your, but in your head you have gold and that's what you need to do. Okay, so let's talk. I'm pretty sure people kind of want to know a little bit about your law enforcement career. You said you didn't get a like no college degree, nothing like that. You just had a high school diploma,
That's
and
right.
then were you so right after high school you went into law enforcement or no?
No, man. So right after high school, I've been playing guitar since I was probably 11.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And so right after high school, I started working at a local music store selling guitars and
correct.
drums and all that kind of stuff. And I was playing in local bands on the weekends.
So you like playing at little bars and stuff like that, or just
Yeah, man.
wherever they got you?
Yeah, yeah. Played in a good portion all over South Carolina, a good portion of South Carolina, a couple times in Georgia and North Carolina.
Damn, that's dope, man. And so then what happened after that? You're like, man, I need to do something with my life, or what do you think was the push that made you say, you know what, I'm gonna check out law enforcement?
Yeah. So I was 27 years old. This is a pretty interesting story. I was 27 years old, and I talked to my boss at the time, the owner of the music store, and I said, "Hey, how do you feel about me buying into the store? I would love to." And I don't
We,
want to put all his business out there, but
we got a question for you, man.
okay.
Fender or Gibson?
Neither, man. I'm an Ibanez guy.
Oh, damn. All right.
So, I talked to my boss and I said, because my boss at the time, he doesn't have any kids. There's nobody to pass the music business on to. And I'm sure I probably it really wasn't ready for it at the time, but I asked him how he felt about me buying into the business. I said, I'd really like to see this store continue and continue building this name. And he didn't answer me. He literally turned 180 and walked away. He didn't say a single word. And I'd kind of known a lot of the cops around here. I dated a lot of girls in high school. And so I knew a lot of those guys. And they said, you'd make a good cop. And I said, there's no way I'd make a good cop, man. You got to be kidding me. And they said, no, you're perfect for it. Trust me.
Yeah.
And man, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of young guys probably go through this, but I was in my 20s. I didn't really have insurance, like health insurance. I didn't really have a great retirement plan.
Yeah.
I wasn't making. I was making barely like minimum wage or a little over it. I wasn't making a lot of money, and I felt like I needed a career. I wanted to do something important, wanted to do something, and I never have minded fighting. So I decided to strap on a badge and the boots and carry a gun for a living.
Damn, that's crazy. But I think you know what I think. I think that but you're from the country. Things are done a little bit different. I believe maybe than they are in a city.
Yeah,
Because
without a doubt.
maybe you guys have like people know who you are, so it's harder to do certain things that cops in the city could get away with because it's the city, man. There's so much people. Not everybody knows themselves. I'm pretty sure where you're at, everybody kind of grew up together. Everybody kind of knows each other, right? Or no?
Yeah, I mean, most people, it's not where I live is not so small that everybody knows each other, but there's almost a guarantee that you'll find me asking this, like if you were just hanging out with me here in town,
Yeah.
if I meet somebody I don't know, I'm going to ask them, hey, who are your mom and dad? Who's
Oh,
your
okay.
parents? And they're going to be like, oh, well, Jack and Jill from down the street. Yeah, man, I knew them when we went to high school together, bro. So
Oh,
it's like, a lot of people kind of know who you might be.
okay, cool. Yeah. And then when you were in the police force, uh, how long did it take you to like kind of realize like, hey, man, I think I'm just gonna go full. I'm gonna go full with my business. I'm just gonna, you know, do my business completely.
Well, man, I love being a cop. It was there's a lot of good there, but there comes a time, man, when you have a family and when you also have a side hustle, you got this is so there's kind of a couple points to this conversation, okay? You have to know when you're a cop that you're going to be working nights, you're going to be working holidays, you're going to miss your kids' birthdays, you're going to miss Mother's Day, you're going to whatever special occasions. And so above and beyond all the stuff that we normally talk about that kind of what I say beats on your soul
Yeah,
as a police officer, when all the death and destruction and crime and just horrible shit that you see people do to each other on a daily basis
yeah,
is the schedule. You know when and so my schedule was such that I worked a month of days and a month of nights, 12-hour shifts, man, and it's really unhealthy for you. So
yeah, man.
your sleep schedule sucks, and at some point you either have to just make that decision and say this is what I'm going to do, or you can try to get a day shift job, i.e. you can go into the detectives division, which I've done before. You
So
can
you
get
were
a
what were you doing? You were running pretty much like a patrol,
yeah,
or
yeah, I was a patrol officer when I left.
all right, all right.
Yep, I was a patrol sergeant. So you you have all that kind of stuff going on. with the schedule. And essentially, and most cops do, you'll find out, I don't know how it is in the larger cities. I'm not a city guy, but you'll find most cops actually have two jobs. Most of them are a police officer, and then a lot of them will have a side business.
Oh yeah, you're right. A lot of them do like security and stuff like that. Like
Security, lawn care. Um, they might be a carpenter on the side, or they might paint houses on the side, and they'll get off a night shift and go straight to a job and stay up another 12 hours, you know? And so at some point, man, you got to pick one.
damn man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's why like people don't even understand. Like you guys aren't even getting paid what in reality like you guys should get. I mean, nobody's getting paid in reality what we should get paid in order for us to survive, be able to take care of our families, and be mentally healthy, and not just mentally, but healthy like in our souls. Because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure there's nights you can't even like. I mean, everybody sometimes can't even go to sleep because they got so much shit. Like you know how they say, or you gotta leave your job at the door, and then when you walk out that door, pick up your boots and go back to work. But it's hard, man. It's hard to
Well,
disconnect sometimes.
yeah, it's not that easy. And you'll find yourself in a shift job like that too. You got to understand that I had to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock. And I mean, it was a struggle for me just to get to work some days on time, because all you're thinking about the night before is I've got to get in bed at 8 o'clock. You
Damn.
know, I got to get in bed at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So,
Yeah,
and you stress yourself out to the point trying to make yourself sleep that you can't sleep.
that you can't even sleep. Oh, man, that's just crazy. So then that's why when you saw that you were making money and that it was going well, you said, you know what, I'm so how okay, so
Yeah.
let's get this right. How did you pretty much call it quits? How was that done? Like,
The same as you would any other job. I worked a 2 week notice, and I gave him a letter of resignation. Said, "Gentlemen, it's been real. It's been fun. Hadn't been real fun. Such and such is my last day."
so pretty much I don't know how the union, because you guys work union, right?
No,
No,
this
not
is
union,
it's
bro.
now this is South Carolina, bro.
Oh, okay, so
We
it's
don't have.
different.
Yeah, man. Look, unions, man. Um, we don't have a police union in South Carolina. Um, I know up north in the Northeast, those are real big. I don't know. I know very little about California.
Yeah,
Never been.
California's
Um,
always they got unions, man. They got unions.
yeah, and so we don't have a union. This is what you call a why am I missing the term now? Um, at any given point, the city police department is my employer when I was
Okay.
a cop.
Yeah.
At any given point, if they decided I didn't like the way that I looked, or that if they said you don't look good today, they can fire me. You know what I'm saying? It's a right to work state. So,
Damn, that's
um,
crazy.
yeah, we don't have unions that are here, and I think it's probably a good thing, because those are political factions. And
Yeah, in a way, I think you're right. In a way, I think it's kind of good that it's like that. But then I think that's why maybe for certain benefits, or I don't know how it works. You know?
yeah, well, the cops, if you ever get a chance to talk to a cop, especially from the Northeast, like the larger cities up there,
Yeah.
they do, like they get paid ridiculous amounts of money. Like if I made that amount of money as a cop here, there's no way I would leave that job. Like they get paid ridiculous amounts of money. They also have a lot of protection from the unions um, for legal expenses and things like that. If they end up in a suit or things like that, I believe. And I don't have all the details or particulars, but it's an entirely different world, man. Police unions are not something that the South is real big on. We don't have, as far as I know, I think there may be a teachers union, but I'm not even positive about that.
Mm. So when you were in the police, were you paying a CalPERS or no? Do you know what CalPERS is or no?
Do what now?
CalPERS is like the insurance plan that
No, 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 no. We have ours is through essentially Blue Cross Blue Shield in the state of South
okay, okay.
Carolina.
So pretty much when you ended up kind of giving them a letter of resignation, But
Yes.
then, in a way, were you able to kind of claim it as a retirement, or how did it work?
Yeah. So my status as a police officer currently is retired, even
Okay.
though I'm not of retirement age. And I have a retirement in the state retirement system, and that will sit there as long as I want it to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that will sit there, and I mean, when I hit retirement age, I can draw that retirement. Um, but for whatever reason, I hear people say all the time, like police get these big pensions, bro. We don't get anything. We get a retirement just like anybody else gets a retirement.
Yeah.
We're not. It's not like we're getting paid, $7,000 a week to sit on our butt after we retire. We're getting paid the same as everybody else is.
Yeah.
Whatever our retirement check is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I was talking to some friends and I was telling them that nowadays in the current America that we're in, you can't make it off of one job. You like you said, you said it yourself. Even police officers were having a hustle, a side hustle,
Yeah.
and it's sad, but I think that time I think when my dad was here, he was making it off of one job. Raised us, bought a home in California. Like right now, nobody could do that. Like I think everywhere is the same, man. It's like you gotta have a side hustle or something because it's getting crazy, man.
Yeah, when you got and there's a lot of factors with that, man. It's not just that our income is low, um, on the normal. It is that our money is being devalued. The inflation that we're experiencing right now, and that's been happening for a very long time.
Yeah.
This is not a new thing. Everybody's like, "Oh, let's talk about inflation." All of a sudden, that's been happening for years. In your more liberal states, I will use that term loosely, like California.
Uh huh.
It's
Yeah, for
even
sure.
worse. It's even worse where you are than it is where I am.
Yeah, behind enemy lines, bro.
But look, dude, I don't know anything about California. The things that I do know,
Bro,
like, look, if you want to come stay at my house, man, we're serving up freedom fries over here in South Carolina.
bro, don't take me up on that offer. Like, you know how many people have told me, like, "Hey, man, move here, move there," and honestly, I'm thinking about it, and every day, man, I get a little bit more closer to taking somebody up on that offer because I'm gonna tell you something. Right now, they're talking about this law that they're saying that everybody is for banning guns, right, in California. So they're just gonna whatever laws they have already, they're gonna make it like 10 times tougher to own a gun. And the funny thing is that if you look at Oakland, if you look at LA, those places, every other day you see a gun crime. Like, and it's not by gun, like people that own guns. This is by criminals. Like
Yep.
these guns are not even 3D printed guns. These guns are not even polymer 80 guns. These guns are pretty much a serialized firearm that has gotten the serial pretty much shaved off or sanded off, whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it. So then then the media goes out and starts saying that these ghost guns are affecting the community. Man,
No,
a
they're
lot
not.
of a lot of us, a lot of people that are doing this stuff, bro, we're doing this as a hobby. We're doing
Yeah.
this to get by, to help us with whatever stress we have at work, get home, turn on that printer, print it, make it look nice and cool, and show it off, and talk to fellow
Yeah, man.
people that are tinkerers. That's why when I started talking to you, and you're like, "Yeah, man, like I don't know anything about that." I think you told me you kind of heard about polymer 80s and stuff like that. But let me ask you something. In the time that you were in service in the police place, did you ever see any 3D printed guns, bro?
No, not one. No, and it's not ever going to happen. Here's the deal. Um, here's the deal, dude. So look, I was a cop for 15 years. I've taken guns off the streets where I live. I don't know. There's no way I can count how many guns I've had in my hands that were used in crimes. Okay, look, guns that are used in crimes are the same guns that you and I would go to a gun store and buy. Glocks, Smith and Wessons, Taurus, you name it. They they may or may not have an obliterated serial number, but regardless, they've either been bought legally, straw purchased illegally,
Yep.
which is happening in greater numbers, especially for your gangbangers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
they're getting guys with clean records to go straw purchase guns for them, or
Girlfriends.
yeah, or girlfriends. A pretty good point. Or
Yeah.
they were stolen out of a good, honest, hardworking American's car or house. Those are the guns that are being used in crimes every day in America. Not ghost guns, not polymer 80s, not, you know, this that's the truth. And I know because I lived that experience.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, dude, that that whole thing, like when you get into the weeds on that kind of stuff, the amount of silliness that we have to deal with as gun owners, as people that love the Second Amendment, that love our constitutional rights in their totality, that want to protect our families, it man, we're being horribly, horribly mistreated, and it is.
Well, I don't know if you
Whew.
noticed, I think all this week, or yeah, like in the beginning of this, all this week, a lot of people have been targeted on Instagram. Brandon Herrera got his stuff shut
Yeah,
down. And
he got
back.
zucked, bro.
Yeah, and they brought him back today, probably because it's Cinco de Mayo or something like that. So they're like, you know, let's bring the Mexican back. But
Yeah, the token Mexican Brandon Herrera, the AK guy.
yeah, man, both of his accounts, I don't know if they brought both of his accounts back, but like they've been doing that a lot with like people that are pro 2A, that are pro America, that are, pro freedom, that they've been doing that. And the thing is that you could go on Instagram and you could see a bunch of stuff that has to do with a bunch of stuff, and I don't really want to get into it, but you could see a bunch of other stuff that's not even healthy for people to watch, or for kids,
Oh
or
yeah,
when they want to push a war, they're gonna put it on social media, and everybody's gonna change their little damn picture into the flag or the colors, and it's gonna last like a month or two, and then people are gonna switch it another flag, and you know, um, and I think the thing is that I was thinking about it last time, and I'm like, man, why when I was growing up, um, I kind of didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of didn't know what where I belonged in America. Like I didn't know. And the thing is that I was like, do I hate America or do I like America? Honestly, this is a question I asked myself, and now I know why, because the teachers I had that were not American would tell me that the Europeans invaded us and this and that. And yeah, okay, I understand that thing happened. We all have family members in the past that did something, but that's not us.
yeah,
That's
no,
not me and you. Me and you have the opportunity to get up, cut that shit out, and start fresh
yep,
for today, for tomorrow, for whenever. And
that's
then
right.
I would ask people that were American, I would ask them questions, and they didn't know, and they weren't in school, and they didn't want to tell me. A lot of them didn't want to give me their 2 cents, and the few that did, I remember I had this one teacher, and he told me, man, like history repeats itself. Make sure that if you learn anything about America, you learn the history before you judge anything. And you know what happened with that teacher? He quit. He became a politician, and he's a Republican politician. Yeah. So I mean, I'm telling you, it's just we gotta teach our children and tell them like, look, man. Finally, when I started hearing my family's story behind why they came over here, like my mom straight told me, like I want it better for you guys. So, you know, when I got with your dad, I said, hey, I'm moving over there. And then when because I'm the firstborn, and she's out. And then when I found out I was pregnant from you, I didn't want to go back. Your dad, I guess my dad was telling her like, hey, go back, and then that way like she could have her parents help her. And my mom said, nah, I'm not going back. I'm pregnant. I'm staying here. I want something better for them. And a lot of people don't realize that, yeah, America might be getting kind of weird with stuff and it kind of sucks sometimes, but we have a great opportunity. What we're doing right now, man, a lot of places wouldn't have allowed this. We wouldn't have had the chance to let other people know how we feel, and because we could have been in some camps or something like that. And that's just honest.
Yep. Well, and you got to think about it too. You know, when you hear people talk like that, what you have to what you have to just remember in your head is this: it's like if this place is so horrible, then what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
If you don't want to be here, then don't. Like if this is not for you, then that's fine. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
I mean, it's literally that simple, and we overcomplicate that kind of stuff all the time in this country
Yeah,
because politicians bicker back and forth, and people want to get in their feelings about what is it really an objective matter, not a subjective matter, and so it's really that simple, man. Like we we live in the greatest country on the planet with technology that nobody else thought. Dude,
yeah.
I'm a child of the 80s and 90s, okay? So when we were playing Oregon Trail, like that was peak performance at the time, right?
Yeah,
All right. And so people don't even know. Like these young kids out here, they have zero clue
bro.
what.
I remember when I used to see Back to the Future, like covering skateboards and flying cars and like man,
Yeah, and original Nintendos. Yeah.
yeah,
Like people don't even know, man. It's the times that we're living in right now are so amazing. Look, we're talking about, you know, you can literally, if I had a 3D printer right here
yeah,
and I could go boop and it'll print a Glock frame.
yeah,
Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine how awesome that? Like, you really have to fathom how cool that is. Um, the not just the advances that we've made in technology, but the fact that this country is able to produce people smart enough to invent it. And
yeah.
it is that way because in this country, you can go wherever your mind takes you.
Bro, I don't think nobody ever imagined that you'll be able to like. I mean, there was people that were already working on printing guns and stuff, but like the Liberator and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
people thought that you were gonna need like a special type of machine, and there is machines that do that and stuff like that. But no, it just from going to the store and spending. If you get a coupon, you could probably spend like maybe $100 plus filament, stuff like that, like under $200, and you could go home and you could print yourself a lower, either an AR or any Glock lower, even Taurus now. We got and FNs now, like anything that is polymer, that it has a polymer lower, it could be done, man. And
Nice.
and people don't understand that. Especially like okay, so like right now that we have a couple people, what are any questions that you have about 3D printing in general that you want to kind of find out?
Yeah. So here's something that has just been racking my brain.
All right.
I've never handled a 3D printed firearm. So here's my biggest question.
Okay.
How durable are they?
Okay. So I wish Ralph was here because Ralph put them has tested them. But I was talking to him last night and he told me that there's this type of PLA that you end up putting in the oven. I guess it's called annealing. So you bake it and it makes it stronger. And he said he was able to uh, do 400 rounds straight, like a magnum, kind of like I believe. Okay, it says tame the bang is saying it was an easy 400 rounds with the right filament nonstop. So I mean, bro, like you could. That means that you could. It could become your EDC because you're not gonna be using.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. I mean, even you a cop. When was the last time you let off 400 rounds? Like because you had to.
I can't afford to let off 400 rounds these days. It cost me a kidney and half of my heart.
Yeah, man. So not just that, but now right now we're moving into nylon carbon fiber, and those frames are just gonna be. I think I was telling you. Remember that this guy right now that's asking the question, same the bank. He printed a little cube, which is a calibration cube, and he said he was hitting that thing with a mallet or something. It wouldn't break, man. So
Yeah, well, and so something like, and it's what I use in my attachments for my holsters.
Oh, okay.
Right in there, my
Yep.
clips and things. It's glass filled nylon. Now,
Oh,
when we start, I don't know if it's the same that he's talking about in 3D printing, but that was one of my biggest questions was durability because, you could, yeah. I mean, you know, what we see generally is pretty much like if you let's just take the Glock for example,
okay.
because it's so easy, right?
Yeah.
So that frame is pretty much going to last the lifetime of the gun.
Yeah.
Generally, if you have a breakage on a Glock, it is going to be somewhere around
Mhm.
the barrel shroud there, or maybe at near the ejection port, things like that. Those kinds of metal failures come at very, very, very high round counts.
Yeah, correct.
Uh, for a guy that's 3D printing his own frames, if you're getting 400 or 500 rounds out of it and you shoot a couple hundred at the range once a month, if you're willing to make the investment in the material and print another frame, bada bing, bada boom, slide and barrel should be good.
Yep.
An AR barrel on full auto in a military environment is going to last 25,000 rounds. Most guys will never shoot 25,000 rounds out of any
No.
gun they own. So that's pretty interesting, man. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I'm kind of excited to see
I'll send you.
where where
I'll send
those.
you his video, man, next time
Yeah,
so you can see it. But okay, so I got Tame the Bang, and he's saying, we have glass filled nylon. We can print it. It's just expensive. So the thing is
sweet.
that we do have that stuff, but the thing is getting it. And he's also saying $2 a frame. So like we can print it however many times. So I guess to print a frame, it depending on how much you pay for the filament.
Yeah,
So usually each filament is goes in 1 kilo, but then if you get to the like more expensive stuff, it's like 55. I think it's 55 grams or something like that, which is I think half. No, it's not even half a kilo. It's way less. I don't know, but pretty much if you get one regular PLA, I think plus, I think it's coming out to like $2 a frame, man.
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's insane. You can build your own gun at home, which we all have the right to do
I,
for
I was
$2.
I was telling people, man, like when I bought my first gun, I felt what it was like to be American. But when I printed my first gun, I was like, damn, this is amazing, man.
Yeah, freedom's the greatest, bro.
Yeah. So I guess they're saying, like it's about like 18 bucks a spool. I use Keystone for PLA Plus, and I get it like with taxes and everything for 25 bucks a spool. So it just depends where you buy your stuff, who you get your stuff from. I bought Nylon, the coax brand. That one was a little bit pricey. I think I had a coupon, so it came out to like 55, but originally it's like $65, I think, for 1 kilo. But
Okay.
that's because it's nylon and it's stronger. So I think right now with where everybody's moving into, I believe that the next step is gonna be either the annealing, which people don't want to do because you gotta measure it right. You're gonna put it inside a heating source and it's gonna shrink. So if you don't print it out right, when it shrinks, stuff is not gonna fit correctly. And people and people we want the easy way out. So I think the next step is probably gonna be nylon. That's where I feel, and a lot of us that have talked, we feel it's going that way.
So what's your cycle time on printing a frame?
Okay, so just a regular frame, like a Glock 19, Glock 26, something like that. It takes like maybe 23 hours. You know?
Okay, so a day.
Yeah, a day. So which is
Okay.
not bad because if you order a polymer 80, right, it's gonna take you about a week, sometimes even 2 weeks to get the frame. So I mean, and how many days does it take you, depending on where you're from, to actually receive the gun? What is it, like a week also or something like that? If
Yeah.
like you go purchase a gun legally, like
Oh yeah. Well,
you
like
wait
I
for
mean,
it?
here I don't know how it is there, but in South Carolina, I mean, I can order a P80 frame right now, and as soon as it gets here, I mean, it's mine. If I've got the slide barrel recoil spring,
Yeah.
and the internal components, firing pin, and all that stuff. I mean, I can have one done in an afternoon as soon as it gets here.
Okay, so in
So,
California, it's 10 days, bro.
so
Like,
you have a waiting period.
yeah. So if we want to go buy like to the gun shop and we want to buy a gun, it's 10 days, bro.
Yeah, they're talking about, and I heard something the other day. There's a bill over in California right now. They're wanting to require micro stamping on stuff.
Yes, that's the one I was talking about, actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They're trying to pass that, and I'm telling you, they might
right.
pass it, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
man.
they said there was a chance that some of that might get by. And I tell you, there's been that giant exodus essentially over to Texas.
Yeah.
Man, look, dude, I wish nothing but the best for you, because all I hear coming out of California is stuff that if it happened in South Carolina, like I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
somebody shows up deciding to do something stupid, walk around the streets, you better bring a lot of guys and a lot of guns, and you better be prepared to pay in blood and gold, because you ain't taking South Carolinian stuff without paying dearly.
So he says that they already do require it. That's why we can't have Gen 4 and Gen 5 Glocks in California, bro.
Jeez.
What?
So you
Uh,
can only get a Gen 3 in Cali, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which,
Correct.
great gun. Nothing wrong with the Gen 3, but see, that's
Yeah.
insanity.
But you know what it is, bro? It's just people are paying for feeling safe. So then
Yeah.
they're like, oh, look at all these criminals. They're getting guns and let's make it tougher. But the criminals don't care about the rules, bro. The
Yeah.
criminals are not going to go to a gun store and wait 10 days to
Nope.
get a gun, because they're saying, like, well, what if you went to buy a gun because you had a heated discussion? So we're going to give you 10 days to cool off. And then maybe you come back and you're like, hey, you know what? I was going to kill my wife, but now I'm not. Come on,
Yeah.
bro. What the, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that's the world we live in, and that's why I say, I mean, those kinds of discussions, like we could have a 3-hour podcast just about stuff like that. I know we're kind of limited tonight,
Yeah.
but those kinds of things, man, are
Okay, so he's
just
saying all
beyond the pale.
yeah, he's saying all guns we have here have to be on a roster too.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
bro.
Y'all have a registry in California without having a registry
Yeah,
federally.
yeah. So
So
okay, so another thing is I wanted to see if because we're like almost at an hour. So does anybody in the comment sections wants to ask Philip a question about Kydex or anything like that, or his career or anything? We'll wait. They'll start typing right now. But I was gonna ask you. Oh man, I was gonna ask you. Yeah, man. So like, if you do want it to learn anything, I'll send you that video of P80 Ralph. He's a cool guy, man. He was in Maryland. He moved to Texas because of the gun laws in
yeah,
Maryland.
Maryland is almost as bad as Cali.
Yeah, but I think it's because they're also like right up like DC, right? Like Maryland is pretty much
Yeah,
DC.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but it's you can't even drive through Maryland if you are heading somewhere beyond there with particular guns, or guns in a particular state of being. They have to be
yeah.
in a particular type of case with a particular type of lock and all that. Like it is the most asinine stuff. And I know, because I had to drive up north not long ago,
Oh
and
damn.
me and the boys that I was with, we were like, you know what? We're going to take an extra hour around Maryland.
Yes, a
We're
lot of people
we're
have
not
said that.
screwing with that, bro, because
Yeah, bro. All
it's
right, so
just stupid.
I got a question for you from Tame the Bang. I think I told you about him. He's the one that's doing Kydex. He says, I'm an expiring Kydex hobbyist. Any tips?
Yeah, man. Here's the first thing you got to understand. So when you have a CAD file, and I don't know what you guys use for your 3D printing,
Yeah, cat files.
okay, CAD file, and you press a button and it does this thing in this manner. And I know there's a little bit more art to it than that, but Kydex is the same way. You have to understand that fitment and technique, when you do particular operations with the holster making process, have to be learned. It is not something that where it's just an automatic do this and produce this result. You might get a mold that is, CNC machined, but you make a holster on it. Next thing you know, you can't get the gun out of the mold without cutting the plastic off the gun. Okay, so you have to, and I know it sounds silly, but that
No,
is the
I,
absolute truth.
I think you're talking from experience, bro.
I am. And so you're sitting here with a bandsaw on a $700 firearm, and you're like, oh my God, if I hit this slot, so yeah, with Kydex, there is some art to that, and there is also, just like anything else, a learning curve, an experiential thing that you kind of have to go through. No matter how many tips and techniques I give you, the biggest one is that you have to do it to learn it. You can't be a carpenter without working for a carpenter most of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so until you learn to swing that hammer, because there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. You can do something 10 different ways and it'll produce a similar result. But until you understand the finer points after doing 4 or 5 iterations of that holster and working out this process and then doing this process and then doing this process, it's a game you have to play with yourself that you have to enjoy, because you're manufacturing a product, and mind you, a highly serious product that somebody is carrying a really serious tool in, right? So we have to know that we're there.
Yeah, because imagine, man, like something happens, they're mugging you, and you want to draw that thing, and it's stuck, and you're done.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's not a good end. So
I didn't think about that till right now, till you actually said it. I'm like, oh
yeah.
shit, I'm gonna check my holsters again.
Yeah, it's a serious thing, man. It's something that I'm always a pretty happy dude most of the time. But when it comes down to brass tacks, when you're making a holster that you're selling,
Hmm.
you better know that it works.
Okay, so I think he said, I'm learning what you're saying the hard way right now. Ever retention left and right? What over retention left and right? He says over retention left and right.
Yeah, you can have too much retention. That's for sure.
All right. So before we end this, because usually I stop like at an hour and a few, and I think you got a game, right? You're gonna watch a game later on in a bit.
No, man, no. The Braves are on a travel day today.
Oh, so yeah.
Yep,
Okay, good.
coming back home to Atlanta. So
All right.
off a really good win against the Mets.
Oh, look at you, man. All right. So I want to know your wallet story.
Okay, yeah. You asked me about why I didn't have wallets on my website, right?
Correct.
So there is a dude out there, and I won't name names. I know that's a passive aggressive thing, but
It's being professional.
yeah. So I'm actually going to unplug my headphones here and get you plugged in. Hang tight with me.
All right, for sure. Go
We're
ahead.
kind of doing this on your phone is a little wild, but we should be okay.
So I talked to Philip and I told him, hey man, if you don't got a computer or anything, it don't matter. We could use your phone. So right now he's using his phone. I'm using a new computer, so hopefully my mic sounds better, guys. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Is my mic a little bit better? I think the quality is a little bit better too, but I need to get a better chair for sure.
Okay, so all right. All right,
Thank
can you hear me?
Yeah, bro, you're good.
All right, so no matter what we do, we're just going to have to run on 5% battery power and see what happens.
All right.
So Kydex wallets have been around since about 2008. I've got documentation on various forums for EDC and firearms, things like that, of them being made around that time. And not terribly long ago, I'd say a couple years maximum, a particular person in the industry, and just so you guys know, Kydex makes up about 1% of the firearms industry worldwide, the
Oh
entire
shit.
planet. So it's very, very tiny.
Damn.
One guy decided to say, you know what, I'm going to patent the Kydex wallet. Now, here's the deal. His patent doesn't really have any footing because they were in the public domain over a decade before he decided to get the patent. In this world, who patents first is generally the winner,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really have a lot of footing because of some of the patent laws. And so he's actually sent cease and desist letters to guys that advertise them on their website and stuff like that, and threaten them with legal action.
Yeah.
So for the moment, I don't really advertise them, but
But he has.
yeah, I make the
Yeah.
I'll make the crap out of them, bro. Sell the crap out of them locally, and
All right.
like if he wants to C&D me, tell him to go ahead.
Yeah, and the thing is that it don't matter about the like the season desist stuff. What matters is the legal battle that you're gonna have to endure, which is gonna that's what you don't want to do, man. You don't want to go to court and pay, and even just to know that you're gonna win, but at those legal fees, lawyers ain't cheap, man.
No, they're very expensive. Very.
The homie says he's makes me want to make a shit ton of wallets out of Kydex.
Do
Um,
it, bro.
all right, man. So I know you got 5%, and I don't want you cutting off and not getting to explain everything. So me and Philip from Vyper Kydex, we were speaking, and he decided to donate a wallet to whoever wins on Friday. So whoever submits for the roast before the roast, and whoever wins is gonna get a Kydex wallet. And let them know what you're gonna do, man.
Yeah. Be glad to make somebody a wallet, and all those guys do. If you are the winner, all you need to do is just hit me up through my email, Vyper Kydex and Gmail. You
No,
can
no,
go
no,
to the
don't do that.
website.
Don't do that. Don't do that because then you're gonna get a bunch of people hitting you up, bro. So,
Well,
so,
yeah,
so what we're gonna do is everything for him is linked down below. So when the winner is chosen, we usually make a video. I'm gonna send you the video so you could kind of watch it, or if you want to watch it, it's gonna be tomorrow. And then I'll tell you who the winner is from, like me personally, and then I'll get you in contact with the winner, and then
oh
the
yeah,
winner could choose what you said they could choose color, and then the color of the
yeah,
band or
man.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can choose the. I've got plenty of stock colors that I keep on hand, and they can choose the color of the band, and I'll include a couple other goodies for them too.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna go to Sabr. Sabr. I'm gonna go to Dark in a bit. So tell them I'll be there. I told them at 7. It's 7:15. So I'm gonna cut this short. So also the show is gonna be brought to you guys by Vyper Kydex tomorrow. So thank you, man. I really appreciate your time, and hopefully you could come again and we'll do something. Maybe I'll bring you to the roast before the roast where you'll have all these 3D printed guns, and then you could have intake and be like, holy shit. So you can kind of see what the community is doing, bro.
Yeah,
Because I know that a lot of people would be like interested in you doing personalized posters for their personalized weapons, especially if it's whatever type of weapon they're giving you, you know? I think you said you're gonna start doing polymer 80 holsters too, correct?
yeah. So that is, it's funny. So you guys in the 3D printing community are probably an exception, but what people out there actually need to know about that, we see all these like really hot Cerakote jobs and stuff on Insta and all that stuff. Hey, dude, do you know people ain't really carrying those guns?
What? Why?
Like all those, you know what I'm talking about when I say Gucci Glock,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, people are not carrying $2,000 Glocks. They're
No, no,
carrying bones.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're
But wait,
carrying bone stock like Glock 19s and stuff like that.
bro, but in the community, we are. We
Yeah, no. That's why I said you guys are an exception.
yeah.
Did you
Oh, okay,
did
I
you hear
got
that when I that's what
yeah,
I
yeah, I
started
heard.
that
I
with.
think I heard you. I
You
heard
guys are probably an exception to that rule. Most guys are just doing it for for the Insta, so to speak.
And he says they're carrying high
You,
points.
yeah, yeah. So a lot of guys. When I say that, I mean in all seriousness.
Yeah,
Until now, I really hadn't gotten that many requests for the Polymer 80. So that mold is on the way. Man, dude, my website is adding stuff every week. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
and the more the manufacturers make, the more I have to do. So,
yeah. So
so the
so
Polymer
remember
80 mold is coming.
so remember, guys, all his stuff is linked down below. I got his website down there. Uh, I also got his Instagram's name, so check him out on Instagram. And yeah, like I said, man, I hope to keep doing stuff with you. You're welcome whenever you want. Let me know if you got anything new. We'll talk about it, bro. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
your time, and I appreciate all of you guys. You guys could catch me at BLD After Dark. I guess Dark wants to have me again. I guess he wants me to interview him again. I don't know, but thank you guys, and have a great day or great night, wherever you guys are at. All right, man. Take care, Philip. Talk to you later, man.
See you, brother.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
bro.
you, bro.